If you are a developer, but you haven't worked on the MCP server yet, you probably think that it's just an API, or more specifically, an API for AI. It sounds so simple that it feels almost useless, but it's not. And in this video, we're gonna take a look at the problem that MCP is solving, and solving it so effectively that it remains a very popular solution. And we're also gonna be looking at some use cases where you should use MCP server and where you probably shouldn't. A small disclaimer before we start. I do work as a developer for an MCP server. Everything I talk about in this channel is my personal opinions or something that I learn and do outside of my work, and this topic comes a bit too close. It's very difficult to not let something that you do 40 hours a week, every week, affect you. So I'm probably biased, keep that in mind. Before we dive into the MCP, let's look at some non-AI example. How did it work before when you wanted to connect two applications together? Imagine you wanted your GitHub issues become your tasks in Todoist. How would you do that? Well, one app would expose an API that would be very specific, very precise, and it would describe the domain of that app. And another app would have to integrate with this API in an also very specific and very precise way, so they would fit together. One part would describe their domain exactly. What is an issue? How does it look? It has a name and a description and maybe some labels. And the other part would know exactly how to map this domain into the domain of this app. So the title of the issue would become the title of the task, description will become a description, and the label would become a tag, for example. Building this integration was very precise, very manual task. You had to do it for every two apps that you worked with. So for example, if you wanted to connect another to-do app to your GitHub, you would have to build yet another integration. It didn't scale really well. And also you would have to maintain this integration all the time because an API could change or the domain of the receiving app could change. We couldn't simplify the API so much that it would fit multiple apps just because we needed to keep this domain structure on both sides. That was the whole point. So what changed? I think the proper framing is not that AI needs MCP, is that MCP becomes possible because of AI. What is MCP, or Model Context Protocol? And if you guys are gonna go to the comments and write anything about USB-C and MCP, I'm gonna respond to you with the most unhinged emoji I could find, because I really despise that comparison. I understand the whole idea that it started with that, oh, you can plug in all of the apps into your AI, but it kind of describes only one part of the problem and just completely ignores everything else, so I really don't like it. So what actually happens is that instead of building this integration, this mapping on your own, AI, or LLM in this case, becomes this integration layer. AI host or AI app, in this case, it can be Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT, doesn't matter, follows the same structure as any other AI host because they follow the Model Context Protocol. They know how to get a list of tools. They know how to call a tool. They also know how to get a list of resources, prompts, or whatever capabilities MCP protocol is getting in the future. And on the other end of this equation, there is an app that is also following the same protocol because they built an MCP server for their own app. And this part knows how to give a list of tools and how the tool execution is going to be called. And on its own, it doesn't make a lot of sense because these parts do not connect. But if you add the missing layer, the LLM in between them, I should have thought this through. It's very inconvenient to hold 3 pieces of paper. But anyway, when you add a missing layer, it all comes together because LLM is capable of figuring out how to map the domain of one app to another. And in this case, it's an AI host, but it could also be that you connect 2 apps. And you can do this pretty easily with MCP because all the app has to do is build this similar structure as the previous app. So if you look at the MCP servers of different apps, they would look very similar to each other. They would all provide a list of tools, they will all provide the way to execute the tools, and probably authentication. Just a reminder, when I'm talking about the tools, it's just because it's the easiest and the simplest and the most powerful capability of MCP, and it has quite some other features. If you're interested in hearing more about MCPs and how they work in this weird paper format, let me know in the comments and I'll make more videos about MCP. So that is the whole idea of Model Context Protocol, and that's why it is so powerful, because different apps can expose the same structure without thinking, what AI host they're going to be working with. Is MCP strictly necessary? No, because every AI host can provide their own structure that the servers would have to follow. For example, we can have a new AI chat in the future that will require a completely different set of functions and APIs from your server, and it's possible. Nobody's stopping them from doing that. But the problem is then you would have to build a custom solution for every AI host. And I think this is where game theory comes into play, because it is not beneficial for all of the players in that market to have different APIs. If you build a solution that works for Claude, it also works for ChatGPT and Gemini, which is good for ChatGPT and Gemini. And that's why all of the major AI players, major AI companies, they support and contribute to MCP protocol. And that's why I think that it's not going to die anytime soon. Because first, the problem that it's solving is a problem that existed for years. We just never had technical capabilities to solve it. And second, because all the big companies are supporting it and investing in it. So it's not just an open source creation that can slowly die down or something that one company can easily kill. Maybe if a better solution appears, MCP will go away. But right now, at this particular moment, it's a very powerful thing that's here to stay for now. Okay, MCP sounds fun, but there are some cases where you do build your own MCP server and some where you probably don't. So let's talk about that. My absolute favorite use case for building an MCP server for your app is when you don't want to use AI in your app. You don't want to figure out how to not drown in AI bills, but also not bill your clients too much. But your clients demand AI and they want to use AI with your app capabilities. And in this case, you provide an MCP server and everybody benefits from it. You don't have to deal with AI yourself, and your users can use their own agents where they can control how many tokens, credits, whatever they spent, and they can get the information from your app or even do some actions in your app on behalf of them. I really think that this is the best case scenario where everybody wins. Second case, and it's probably the most popular case, is when your app requires authentication to connect to it. Of course, if you already have an API, you can just provide a token to your AI to use it. But you probably don't want to expose your token to AI. You don't want it to be logged and used in the memories and maybe even leaked to another chat with another user, given access to your data, which of course never happens. So in that case, you would build an MCP server because AI host or AI chat is supposed to follow the MCP protocol that tells them how to handle the authentication. Right now, the OAuth that is baked into the protocol is OAuth 2.1. And I love how strict it is as a user. I absolutely hate it as a developer. The point is, every AI host knows that this is the OAuth they would have to deal with. Every MCP server knows that this is the OAuth they would have to deal with. And the expectations on how to handle this are pretty clear because it's a very well-known standard. The third case is calling from anywhere, because you might think that I'm just going to use a CLI, and this is great. Don't get me wrong, I love CLIs. And AI is pretty good at using CLIs. But you would have to force your users to install a CLI, which is fine if your users are developers, which is less fine when the users are product managers or writers or marketing specialists, or who else is using AI? I don't know. I only talk to developers in my life. Which is even less ideal when they have to install it twice onto different devices, and which completely doesn't work when they have to use it on a device that cannot install a CLI at the moment, for example, a phone or, I don't know, a fridge. Are we going to have AI on? We probably already have AI in the fridge. In other words, if you anticipate your app being used on a toaster, probably build an MCP server. Another use case is pretty new because it's a new capability that appeared in MCP server recently, relatively recently, and this is MCP apps, MCP UI, which allows you to build your own UI directly in the AI chat, which is pretty cool because then you don't have to force your users to go to your app. You can just let them stay where they are. You can use the pre-existing app builder that MCP community is providing, or you can build your custom HTML. That's pretty cool, actually. I kind of like this capability a lot. It's not strictly supported everywhere. For example, Claude Code in your terminal will not do that, but all of the major AI chats are supporting it, and it's kind of fun to build. And for more practical applications, imagine that you have a website that helps you to search for flights, and then you can just show this form inside of your AI chat, and the user can click the buttons instead of describing their whole life story to AI. And it just looks so cool. If you're interested in how to build MCP apps yourself, I have a tiny tutorial about how you can do it from scratch in 15 minutes using all of the pre-existing libraries and tools and the prefab app. The link is going to be in the description. And this is all fun and all, but when don't you want to build an MCP server? First of all, you don't need an MCP server to call an already exposed public API. I don't believe I'm saying this, but I have seen MCP servers that do that. The second case is when you're planning to use your MCP server in a pipeline. I'm not saying you cannot. You technically can. You can use an API key from some AI provider. You can call an MCP in your CI/CD pipeline, sure. I don't understand why you would do that. Maybe there are some cases that I cannot think about, but the whole idea of a pipeline being so non-deterministic and relying on so many third parties is just making me uncomfortable. And the same applies to the situations when you need the data to be either low latency or very deterministic. So every time you call something, you want to get the same data. And you can say that, yeah, but MCP server is deterministic because MCP server is just exposing the APIs. It doesn't use AI. But AI controls the flow of information. AI controls how to find the tool in a list of tools, which tool to use, how to use it. It controls the request that is being sent. It controls the interpretation of the response. It controls the polling if you want to implement that. If you need something that is low latency, that is deterministic, and that works every time exactly as you expect it to work, build an integration. We've been doing this for decades. We know how to do it. Just build an integration. Every time you agree to work with AI, whether by opening an AI chat or by building an MCP server, you're kind of signing up to this mess and chaos that AI can and will produce. And also don't forget that AI is pretty humanly slow. At least right now. Everything that I'm saying in this video can change in like 2 weeks, but at least right now. And another thing that I absolutely despise when people do it with their MCP servers is serving giant pieces of information. And I know that we have resources and this is great, but every time you serve a big static file via MCP server has to consume it, which means it's spending a lot of tokens and it's saving it to its context. And I know we're getting like these giant context windows now, so we care less about context, but more context we have, more expensive the whole chat becomes, because every time you send the information back to the AI host, you're sending the whole chat. All of your questions, all of the answers you got, they are being sent every single time. Okay, sent is the wrong word, but every question you ask, every answer, all of your conversation is getting processed every single time. So the bigger your context is, the bigger the processing is, and more tokens you spend every single time. And imagine if you load a giant file into your AI chat. Not only it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, but also it's going to get AI pretty confused. I know it's a controversial topic and it really depends on the model, but more information you give to AI, more information it has to rely on, and more confused it becomes eventually. And this is something that is pretty easily solved if AI has access to file system, because then your MCP server or your public API just provides a link to the file, and then AI can run a script that downloads the file, stores it locally, and then it can be accessed like any other context file locally, because AI is getting better and better at searching in the files without consuming the whole file. And that really helps to alleviate this pain of big files and a lot of tokens. This is just one of the things that you have to think about as an MCP server developer. You really have to optimize the token consumptions on the other end. I hope you didn't get too confused with my cutouts trying to explain how APIs would work with MCP or without, and I hope that you got something useful for yourself. Maybe you've heard some information that you want to dive deeper in, or maybe you've heard some information that you don't agree with. In this case, let me know. I'm super curious what you guys think, and I will see you in the next video.